Peace, peace, peace to everyone who is coming in. Give y'all a couple of seconds. No, I was running late. Sorry about that, guys. Had some technical difficulties. Uh, and one of those technical difficulties was that I was hungry. and my time management didn't align with me going live on time today. But I actually wish I didn't eat because I actually felt much lighter. And then once I ate, it changed. But it's all good. Still gonna have a great live today. Let me just pull y'all up because y'all know I can't see anything. Give me 1 second. See who's here. It changed. But it's all good. All right, still gonna have a great down. Okay. Peace to Pony friends. What's going on? Yeah, the weather is much better today. Definitely. Well, yeah, it went from raining and pouring to we're gonna talk about that too, to it being really hot. Like I went out right after it rained to get some food and like it's burning up. It's burning up. It's burning up. We're gonna get into it. Shout out to everyone who's here. If you're here, you're in the building, just drop where you are. Let me know how things are going. All right, looks like I got some things up. Get this started in like 2 more minutes. We're going to have a conversation today basically about the new moon in Cancer. Obviously, the new moon in Cancer is going to be, Pony Friend said I collected the rainwater. Yeah, that's good. That's good moon water. You could put that outside at night. Another thing you could do with that particular moon water is put it out tonight because the new moon is really going to hit its peak, or its perigee, what they call it. That's a scientific term, but it's going to hit its peak at 9:19 Eastern time. So you could put that water out for the night if you can, or put it at your window so you can get that moonlight. If you want to label it with something, and in particular, because this is a Cancer moon, well, I'll get into that. But because the Cancer moon, you want to label this with something that is going to deal with wisdom in certain areas. So it could be wisdom with love. It could be wisdom in career. It could be wisdom in, choosing a new home, wisdom in buying a new car, right? So it's primarily about your body is made of 75% water. So when you get that moon water, you should drink it after 2 to 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Get that moon water, let it sit during the 3 days, let it get the moon rays, right? And then drink that water. You could label, and again, it's fire if you label that water. You could verify this as well with Dr. Masuri Emoto. He did various tests you can find all over YouTube. Many people have replicated that test where he basically, I believe it's called the science of water or something like that. But he basically would label water jars, and he would label these water jars with, one would say love, one would say pain, one would say hate, one would say happiness. And he noticed after a while, and he would put like some rice in the jar or something like that. And he would notice after a while that certain jars that had love and peace and happiness, they exhibited a different color. They were like pink and vibrant colors, and over time, like it didn't rot the same way. But he noticed that the jars that he labeled hate and labeled pain, or wickedness, or whatever negative connotation or negative energy those words held, the water became black and dark and murky, and it wasn't the same. So what he realized is that the words that we say and the energy that we put into water has an energetic or an electromagnetic frequency, meaning that the energy that we put out or into our water, and again, our bodies are 75% water, so the energy that we put into the water that we drink has effects, and the energy that we put into ourselves, it has a serious effect on not only our mental health, but also our physical health as well, right? Because imagine, living in these urban environments that a lot of us come through, and just dealing with pain and tragedy and sorrow over time, you get immersed in a habit of seeing tragedy, a habit of seeing crime, a habit of seeing trash, a habit of being in pain, a habit of being misled, a habit of being controlled, a habit of being manipulated. And these habits start to condition the water within you. So if a jar of water that says peace and a jar of water that says war has totally different outcomes just sitting out there, has a totally different, one contains dark and murky water, and one will be growing light green and new things to come, then it shows how powerful the water in us is. And that's what we're going to get into today. Peace to Flex, peace to Great Goodness Goddess. All right, shout out to y'all in the building. So let's get started with this. So the new moon in Cancer. This new moon in Cancer is very significant, and it's significant for the fact that it's I woke up today and even yesterday, and I was very, very emotional. And I'm a Cancer rising by nature, so I have to be careful of what I hatch my emotions to, because I'll drive straight towards that energy of wherever my energy that I put emotions. I'll drive straight towards that energy. So I have to be very careful of what I put my energy into and what I put my emotions into, because they will manifest and they will some way, somehow fire and rewire my brain to follow that particular emotion. And, it's happening in relationships, happening with certain substances and things like that. So this time of year is really about your comfort. It's really about how you care for yourself. It's really about how you care for your family, but mostly what type of energy that you're putting out into the world. Cancer is a water sign. So Cancer is dealing with water bearing. Oh, Great Goodness Goddess says she's a water bearer too. Peace to Nexus. So Cancer is a water sign, right? Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is our emotional side. The moon is the hidden side of us that we don't see, but we display. So our emotions, some people are laid back, some people are aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Some people are in between, right? So those are emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. Emotions are waves of energy, right? You may have heard Bruce Lee say, be water, my friend, because water could fit in a cup, water could fit in a cube. Water will take whatever shape or container that you put it in and mold to it. So basically him saying, be water, my friend, is about being flexible. It's about being not being stuck in one mode of thinking, not being stuck in one way of looking at things, for instance. So we have to really be mindful of the type of energy that we are channeling, especially these next 28 days. We are under this new moon's influence, and it is a maternal energy. Okay, it's a very motherly energy. It is a very birth-giving energy, and it is a good time for us to look at our lives, look at our home, look at our family values, look at those that we love, and really examine how we are affecting these things with our emotions, right? I titled this New Moon in Cancer, energy, what did I title it? New Moon in Cancer, energy moves all, right? So energy moves all. So that's what emotions are. Emotions are energy in motion, or energy that moves all things. We're doing magic. We are engaging in rituals. We are utilizing altars and sigils and all these other different things that we have in our arsenal, what I call Batman's tool belt. We're using these things so that we can manifest, right, what we want. We want to put energy in motion, right? This energy in motion, we want it to manifest in all aspects of our lives, whether it's love, whether it's career, whether it's family, whether it's friendships, right? We want our energy to move in the direction that we want it to move. And one of the ways to do that is we have to give birth to realities that are unseen. We have to give birth to realities that are unseen. And we have to have the energy to move towards these realities that are unseen so we can manifest the things that we want. Peace to Flex Washington. He said, I'm a Capricorn and was feeling emotional. Not my favorite place to be, but it has to be worked out. Peace to Philip Boone. Yeah, it's a very emotional time. Like, I felt like that yesterday. I was highly emotional, highly emotional. Today, the same thing. I woke up feeling highly emotional. Very like, I was motivated, but I was very much in my emotions, you know? So if you're a Scorpio, like I am, if you're a Cancer, obviously, if you're a Pisces, right, you may be feeling heavy emotions right now. And also you got to be careful because a lot of people don't understand this new moon energy, right? We're also in the dog days of summer. If you look at my video when I talked about the 4th of July, right? The 4th of July is a celebration of the dog star, Sirius, celebration of Orion's belt, the red, white, and blue being Osir, Oset, and Osir, Oset, and Horus, or Osiris, Isis, and Heru, right? So that's the red, white, and blue. And basically the alignment of the sun with Sirius B, which is where the Dogon tribe, which is where the dog star comes from, the Dogon tribe of Mali, right? Said that that is our ancestral home, that we come from Sirius B. So, or at least this energetic matrix that we call a soul comes from Sirius B. So, with all this energy, also there's a ton of solar flares. July 4th, there was a big solar flare. We just had the summer solstice on the 21st of June, right? So we're in the summer solstice energy. So there's a lot of energy here on the planet for us to manifest the things that we want, for us to change the things that we want. But really what it is a drawing up of wisdom, primarily. What we're drawing up is wisdom. And the goal is still wisdom because it is what we are bearing from within ourselves. It's not something outside of yourself. It's what you are bearing from within yourself. So now is not really a great time to try to manifest money or manifest something physical or manifest something tangible. There's Jupiter in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde, and Pluto in retrograde. And these planets that are in retrograde are trying to tell us to get Saturn, discipline, Jupiter, get into our abundance, whatever that is, right? And Pluto, transformation. So all these things coming from I said the winter solstice, coming from the summer solstice, all these things are now moving right into alignment with this new moon in Cancer. So this is a very maternal energy, and we're going to get into this. It's funny that, New York was flooded. I don't know if you guys seen it, but New York was flooding. A lot of the train stations, even my block, like my block right across, it was flooded. Like cars could barely drive down there. That's how bad it was. And I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen rain this bad. Now it's become warm now, but I've never seen anything crazy as the rain that I've seen in New York. And consequently, we have all this water here, right? Which is Cancer, the water bearer. Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, and Cancer is ruled by water. So now we have these floods here, right? And that's on the East Coast. But on the West Coast, California, they're having a heat wave, right? So it's extremely hot over there, okay? Not to mention these waters coming from Elsa, and we'll get into that shortly. But this particular energy right now that we're dealing with is the sacral chakra, all right, or the sacred chakra, I call it. And the sacral chakra, right, this is the orange chakra. You have the root chakra, which is the chakra that deals with security, right, money, making sure that you're safe, fears, things like that. And right above that is your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra deals with emotions. It deals with feelings. It deals with boundaries. And mostly it deals with emotional mastery, okay? How are you mastering your emotions? Do you have boundaries up when you deal with people? Do you, what are your feelings going towards? Is it just shade room stuff? Is it just gossip? Is it just the NBA playoffs? Is it just sports stats? Is it just fight videos? Is it just arguments, right? Is it just trying to feed your ego and feel like you're the best person? Where are your emotions going to? If you want to know where your emotions going to, a quick check is your YouTube will tell you. The videos that come up on your home screen will tell you what you're into. When you go on your Instagram, your feed will tell you exactly what you're into. Your Facebook will tell you exactly what you're into. It'll tell you the water and the emotions that you are bearing. Remember, energy, right? Emotions are energy, emotions, right? Emotional, energy, motions, all, or energy moves all. So the energy that you're going to put out, or energy that you put out, is going to move you in a certain way. It's going to move you in a certain direction. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're electromagnetic beings. So we have an electromagnetic aura. So the water that we bear will produce whatever fruit that we so choose. But you have to have certain checks and balances. Your sacral chakra is the key to your solar plexus chakra and then opening up your heart chakra. Because it's basically like the root chakra is like, yo, I'm secure, I'm the man, I'm great. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first step. I'm secure, I'm the man, I'm great, I can take care of my bills, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on my anxiety, I'm working on my depression. And you're saying all that, right? I want to stop, smoking, I want to stop eating late, you know what I'm saying? I want to get on a diet, I want to start working out, right? That's the root chakra, saying all that. But the sacral chakra is like, okay, where's the emotions? Where's the feeling? Where's the energy towards that, right? Where's the physical exertion or the emotional energy that's needed to manifest these things that you want, or to create these new scenarios where you want to work out, or create these new scenarios where you want to start sitting down and studying more and researching it more, or create these new scenarios where you want to change maybe the way you communicate with your wife or your husband or your children, where you want to create these new scenarios in your life. And every scenario that you want to create requires energy, okay? Even if you look at the planets, the way the planets are associated, right? Let's look at so you have the sun, right? The sun is you. Let's look at, just the 9 planets, right? Just the way they're lined up. The sun is you, okay? Now you're the sun. The next planet is Mercury. Mercury deals with what? Mercury deals with communication. So Mercury is the planet of communication, logic, linguistics. So we could say Mercury deals with affirmations, right? We could see Mercury deals with mantras, right? We could say Mercury deals with prayer, right? Anything that has to do with, or what the Egyptians would call a heka, which is basically a word of power, right? Or mantra, anything you want to say that go across those lines. So that's dealing with Mercury. So that is you using your words, right? The next planet after Mercury is Venus. Venus is what? The planet of love. Today is ruled by Venus, actually. Friday, right? It's ruled by the planet Venus, also ruled by Oshun. So it's dealing with love. It's dealing with joy. It's dealing with vitality. It's dealing with abundance, right? It's dealing with happiness. All these things, joy is an emotion, right? Happiness is an emotion. Love is an emotion, right? So you have the verbal aspect, which handles the left side of the brain, and you have the emotional aspect, which handles the right side of the brain, your visual, your feeling sensor, and things like that. And then you have the planet Earth, which is a representation of your manifestation. So that's the law of attraction in a nutshell, right? If you anybody who studied the law of attraction, they'll tell you you have to come up with these thoughts, create a mantra or an affirmation around it, and then add the feeling, add the emotion to it. And any type of ritual that you see, an indigenous ritual, there's always music, there's always dancing, there's always chanting, right? And with the chanting and the dancing and the music to stir the emotion, right? When these things come together, sometimes people get possessed, right? You've seen it in church, right? People catch what they call the Holy Ghost. So it's the same type of principle. So it's basically the energy that you're channeling, right? And if you look at it, so the Earth is your manifestation, and then Mars is basically you going at it again, or you putting forth whatever you manifested into action, right? And then you got, so my very educated mother, just so Jupiter being the abundance of you growing bigger, right? Saturn being your discipline and order around that abundance, Uranus being that now you're lucky and becoming quote unquote lucky, great things just happening and things like that, right? And I wasn't going to talk about this, so pardon me while I sound choppy. Saturn, Uranus, Uranus is your luck, and Pluto, transformation, doing it all over again, right? Peace to Khalif Shyborn, peace to Titan Olmec, peace to Straight Panther, peace to Great Goodness Goddess, all right? So with what's happening, this particular time period is really about healing that sacral chakra. And I've talked about this when I talked about, if you look at my last video where I talk about the retrogrades, it's really about healing your emotions. What are your emotions attached to? Where are your emotions directed to? Where does your energy go? Are you giving too much energy to the wrong people? Are you giving too much energy to the wrong thing? You know what I'm saying? Are you still giving all that energy to that ex that don't want you? Are you still giving all this energy to people that don't really have your best interests at heart, quote unquote frenemies and things like that? Where is your energy going? Where are you directing your energy towards? Where are you directing your emotions? Where is your energy motioning you to? That is the key to this, okay? So I'm going to get into a little bit of just some of the signs and symbols to show you what we're actually doing. So let me share the screen with y'all. 1 second. Now, there's a particular asteroid. Hold on. Is this the one? Yeah. So there's a particular asteroid, right, that they said is threatening the planet. That's not where I want to go. Now, this particular asteroid, and I just want to show you some of the Hermetic mythology behind this, or the Egyptian mythology behind this, to show you the signs and symbols that, like, this is probably one of the best times of the year, to be honest. These next 28 days, you could pretty much give birth to anything that you want, like, realistically. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you've been doing your work from the solstice, from these last eclipses that we had, and you've been doing spiritual work, you've been doing rituals and things like that, you've been tapped in with the cosmos, like, you should see you should see things manifest at a very quick rate. You should start to see confirmations of the things that you want, that you've been putting into practice, the things that you've been trying to get over, right? And also, I want to say this: these next 28 to 30 days are going to be a very challenging time for a lot of us, because we're going to be tested on the things. It's the dog days of summer. So we got to really walk these dogs. We got to really be about it. So we're going to be tested to see if we are really about what we say we're about, if we really are about this spiritual life, if we're really about this spiritual growth and development, if we're really black male magic or black girl magic, right? And things are going to come into our lives during these next 30 days to test us, because that's just the way life works. So you got to be on point with that. That's why the devil never takes a day off, as the Christians say. So you shouldn't either. In this case, the devil is the archons, right? But that's another story. Peace to Jeremy Lang. Peace to Jane Bird. All right. So let's go into this. All right. So China wants to blow up Earth, destroying asteroids with massive rockets after U.S. makes the first move. All right. What the hell does that have to do with anything, Rob? This is what it has to do. So this particular asteroid, this was dropped yesterday. No, 2 days ago, July the 7th. All right. This particular asteroid, I thought the name was very interesting. And this particular asteroid is called Bennu. Okay. Bennu. Now, the Bennu bird is very interesting because the Bennu bird is an Egyptian deity. The Bennu bird is actually a real thing. But they use it in mythology to symbolize the actual phoenix. So it's interesting that, so you could kind of look to like cues, and I'll get into the Bennu bird in a minute, But it says the chances of Bennu impacting Earth is only 1 in 2,700, but that is not an insignificant number when it comes to a giant floating space rock that could wipe out humanity. So long story short, they also is another article where they figured out that they could break up these asteroids with sunlight, ironically. So, but Bennu, right? The reason they're talking about this asteroid on the 7th, when we're going through this new moon era around this time, and all of a sudden they're talking about it coming back, is because it is basically a sign and symbol from the universe trying to wake us up. And I'm going to break down, I'm going to go into this particular article about the Bennu bird, right? So this is what it would look like. This is basically a version of that particular bird, right? But they named the asteroid after this bird. And it says the Bennu bird is an ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. According to Egyptian mythology, the Bennu bird was a self-created deity which played a role in the creation of the world. It was said to be the Ba, soul of the sun god Ra. All right, there is no sun god Ra. All right, that is a misnomer. Ra just deals with energy. Ra is just solar energy, sunlight. So sunlight is basically Ra, right? The fact that your heart beats and you have a spirit, that's the Ra in you, your Kundalini energy. All right, so they didn't worship animate objects, the Cometians. All right, so there is no sun god. It was just represented of the sun, but it was said to be the Ba, soul of the sun god Ra in Mecca, right? Mecca, for where people that are Muslim go for pilgrimage. They have something called the Kaaba. All right, and the Ka, this is basically another Hermetic name or Egyptian name. The Kaaba, Ka is for the body. Oh, I'm sorry, Ka is actually the spirit. So the Ka is the spirit, and the Ba is the soul or the body. So that's where the name Kaaba comes from, and it is a black stone representing your black ass, whether you know it or not. So when the Muslims is going around really praying to that stone and making pilgrimage, they really praying to you, whether they know it or not, because you are the black stone. If you look at you melanin, it has black. It's black. It's dark, right? Carbon. Same shit. So it says the Bennu bird is the Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. All right. We just went through the solar eclipse. All right. We just got hit with solar flares on July 4th, one of the biggest solar flares. We actually got hit with solar flares, I think. Do I have space with us? Yeah, we got hit with solar flares on, let's see, on July 3rd, all right? Sunspot AR2838 unleashed the first X flare of solar cycle 25, all right? That was on the 6th. Let's bring this down. And I'm just showing you to show you the energy that's available on the planet today. I've broke down to y'all how you melanin absorbs light and converts light to energy, just like Black Panther suit. So the more you are out in nature, the more you're out in the sun, especially during these times, the more you get your ass outside, the more spiritual energy and the more spiritual downloads and your psychic abilities will start coming online. You'll start to see more confirmation. You'll start to get more intuition. That voice in your head will start telling you things that you need to do, start giving you ideas. So it says, so July, today is the 9th. I don't think I pulled this up, so we pull this up now. Yeah, Flex says it looks like a penguin mixed with an ibis. That's exactly what it looks like. And the ibis is important because that's where we're going to get into that. So this is today, right? It says a high-speed stream of solar wind is approaching Earth, July 11th and 12th. The gaseous material is flowing from an equatorial hole in the sun's atmosphere. All right. So they've already 2 solar flares, 2 radio blackouts. All right. So it says another sunspot erupted twice. So look at all this solar activity. Okay. This is not me saying this. Okay. This is what's happening. This is how the planet is. This is what's incoming. Are you meditating? You know what I'm saying? Are you meditating? Are you going out in nature? Are you going within? Or are you still stuck in the matrix? Are your emotions caught up in what the fuck Bill Cosby's doing with his life? You know what I'm saying? If he's innocent or if he's guilty. Like there's a lot of Matrix shit out here. And it's funny that Bill Cosby got released right around this time to divide the people and have people's emotions on whack. Whether you think he's guilty, whether you think it's innocent, it don't matter. Bill Cosby is boule. He don't care about you. Okay? Go look at his last speech where he says implicitly, okay? This is a direct quote. Bill Cosby says, Bill Cosby said, I don't care about, basically he's like, he said the middle class, exact quote, he said, the middle class and the poor black people have not kept up their end of the bargain as far as education. So what he was implying is that the rich people that surround him, the boule people, are the people that are holding black people up as education-wise, right? And then he proceeded to spew venom and in front of a whole bunch of white people about black people. So this is the guy that you guys are emotional about and champion. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand, you know, sexual deviancy. I understand it hits home and things like that. But you got to remember, Bill ain't the one who did it. You know what I'm saying? Bill ain't the one who did it. Don't attach yourself to something that has nothing to do with you and doesn't affect you and your family at all. And that's what this season is about. You got to watch. I told you, the devil doesn't take a day off. So you can't take a day off. And that's why it's very important to do some spiritual work every day, every single day. All right. Now let's go back into, so I just want to show you that. All right. So this is all about solar wind, solar energy, solar flare, solar power, some solstice, right? Solar. Okay. So what are we fixing? Our souls. Okay. That's what it's trying to tell you. What's your soul like? All right. What's your soul like? You're gonna find out, all right? Because your sacral chakra, what you deem to be sacred to you, is what you like, is what you're into. That's what you deem to be sacred. So it says the Bennu bird is an Egyptian deity, again linked with the sun. Okay, the sun, creation and rebirth. The asteroid that's quote unquote coming that they're scared of is Bennu. Okay. And it says it was said to be the Ba, soul of the sun god Ra. Again, the sun, and facilitate the actions of Atum. Okay. This is where you get the word Atum, the creator god. One of the creation myths of Heliopolis. Fuck Heliopolis, that's some Greek shit. But tells of the first dawn in the Heron, the Bennu flying over the primeval waters. Okay. The primeval waters. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Cancer is a water sign, okay? So flying over the primeval waters of chaos, noon, shout out to Dreamwise and all the other chaos beings, all right? Primeval waters of chaos, noon, until it landed on a rock, okay? The Ben stone. Now, and it said, as it did, it opened its beak and its cry echoed over the water of the noon. This was the call that determined the nature of creation. The cry of the Bennu bird determined what it is and is not to be. The Bennu bird, as an aspect of Atum, brought life and light. Okay? So the sun also brings light and life. All right? So this particular mythology is very important to our cause and showing us what's going on. Now, it says, I'm going to skip this, all right? It says the capstones of the pyramids and the pyramids themselves were thought to be a representation of the Ben stone, signifying protection of the sun god Ra. All right. So the Ben stone is what it was is pretty much the capstone on the top of the pyramid. And this capstone on the top of the pyramid, the mythology is that this Bennu bird is basically the phoenix. All right. The Bennu bird is the phoenix. And the Bennu bird basically would turn into ashes at night. Right. And in the morning, he would rise from the ashes into the phoenix. The metaphor was that you go to sleep at night, right? You leave this physical body, go into the astral plane and astral travel, which you call dreams, right? Go into your underground or your inner ground, which is your subconscious mind, right? Your own underworld, right? And then you wake up, right? You get a spark that wakes your ass up. You get up. And at the phoenix, you rise up to do it again, okay? So this is a metaphor for you, my brother and my sister, Okay, this is what the universe is trying to tell you. Okay, it is time to rise up. It is time to manifest your best and your highest self. It is time for you to heal this childhood trauma. It is time for you to actually do the work. Fuck being woke. Fuck your knowledge. It's about your self knowledge. This summer, really, it's about your self knowledge. Do you know thyself? Do you understand thyself? Do you understand what makes you tick? It's not about the world. It's not about anybody else. This is a very self-censored time, okay? Again, cancer is maternal. Cancer is dealing with, so what does a mother do? A mother gives birth. A mother gives birth to things, okay? But the mother doesn't give birth to an alien or a stranger. It gives birth to a part of themselves, right? The child has the mother's DNA. So there's a part of yourself that you have to give birth to. And there's a part of yourself, and I don't know what that is. I don't know you personally, right? But you know, your conscience is going to tell you who you are and what you need to work on. Okay, you know what you need to work on. You know where your emotions are tied to. You know who and what and where and when your emotions are tied to things, and you know that these things need to be eradicated for your best self to rise up, or you wouldn't be here. So it says the Bennu bird. So I want to show you that. Let me see. Do I have anything? So it says that. Oh, this is what I was talking about. All right. So the capstones of the pyramids and the pyramids themselves were thought to be a representation of the Ben stone, signifying protection of the sun god Ra. Its connection with Ra extended to the rising and setting of the sun, which is considered as the Lord of the Royal Jubilee, a form of resurrection and rebirth by the sun. So it keeps talking about the sun, right? All right. We're in the dog days of summer. Okay. The Egyptians believed the Bennu arose regularly to renew Egypt and is connected by the rising of the Nile. All right. There's a part in here that I wanted to get to. But this is actually a pretty good article. You guys want to tap into this. And there's also a ritual where you could basically tap in the Bennu bird in magic. And this is something, shit, if you want to, this is something you could do today as well. But this is a spell from the Egyptian Book of the Dead to be transformed into a Bennu bird, okay? And I also did some more research on this, and this is actually, the Egyptian Book of the Dead is really the book of coming forth by day. It's really the book of coming into the light, all right? The Book of the Dead is something that Wallace E. Budge translated because he didn't know what the fuck he was reading, okay? But it's really the book of coming forth by day. And this is basically this particular, so I did look this up. This is actually accurate to the line. And it's also stated that if you say this 7 times, right, while you're lighting an orange or green candle, right, you will be infused with the spirit of the phoenix, okay? So again, I'm not going to go through every line of this. You could get your screenshot game on and copy this for yourself again and do your own deep diving. Now, there was something. So I wanted to show you how this is tied in. So remember I told you this is not about necessarily manifesting. This is not about necessarily manifesting things. This is about manifesting wisdom and the wisdom of who you are, the wisdom of you knowing thyself, the wisdom of your enlightenment or your inner core. This time, this is like, you got to take time for yourself. You got to take time for silence. You have to take time for meditation. You have to take time for contemplation. You have to take time for studying yourself. If not, then you're going to be caught up by other people who will be puppeting your emotions, who will be pulling your strings these next couple of months. And trust me, this already been happening since the summer solstice. If you look at the news stories, they've been trying to pull your strings here and there. They talking about this Delta variant that in the winter you might have to wear a damn mask in your house, right? They talk about people wearing masks wearing a mask in your house because that's how deadly this Delta variant is. So I'm going to be waiting September and October to see these sheep come out on Facebook Live and YouTube wearing masks in their house. It's going to be so crazy because I know people are going to do it, right? who you are, who you were during slavery, right? You can't tell me who you were during slavery anymore because I got 2020. I know who you would be during slavery. I know if you would be a slave, or I know if you would have been a fighting person. I know if you would have been said, fuck that. I already know because I seen who you were during 2020. 2020 said it all. But the good thing is you don't have to still be a slave, all right? But again, it's a lot. There's a lot out there. You got to be careful. All right. So, okay. So this is what I want to get into. So I wanted to get into how this has to do with Tahuti. And hold on. Or thought, right? Tahuti or thought. And I think it is no. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, this is important too. Let me break this down. So it says the cycle of time, according to the ancient Egyptians, was divinely created with the Benu's call. The temple of Benu Bird at Heliopolis was primarily involved with the regulation of the calendar and division of time. All right. So an Egyptian civil calendar was created with time divided into the 24-hour day. So this is where your 24-hour day comes from. It comes from your ancestors. All right, so that's where the 24-hour day comes from, with 12 hours for both daytime and nighttime, okay? 10 days that comprise the Egyptian week, 30-day months, which we still have now, and the year of 12 months, which we still have now. The lunar astronomical cycle, which revolved around the rising of the Sota star, was used for religious purposes, and the civil and astronomical calendars diverged over the course of 1,460 years to become to then become synchronized again. So, and it says right here, the Egyptian Book of the Dead is one for being transferred into a Benu bird, which could also be called a phoenix. Okay. So who is in the NBA finals right now? Okay. If this Benu bird asteroid is hitting the planet, okay, or supposed, I don't want to say hit the planet, but they said that it may hit the planet, and ironically, they pull it up during this time. Who is in the NBA finals right now? Could somebody tell me who's playing the NBA finals right now? Could somebody tell me in the comments? It says the Egyptian, and there's a hint right here. There's a hint right there. Yes, bro, man. The Phoenix Suns. That is correct. So if it's the Benu bird, and this is called the Benu bird, can also be called a phoenix, right? So what are they trying to tell us? They're trying to tell us that the phoenix energy is here. The energy for you to rise up is here. These solar flares that I showed you, the solar energy is on the planet for you to harness, for you to utilize, for you to be out in nature to get, for you to not be scared of the sun. Those of you who have skin issues where you can't be out in the sun like that, I get it. Wear your sunscreen, bring your umbrellas, but bring your ass outside because you have you're electromagnetic. So even if you're not directly getting hit by the sunlight, you're still magnetically getting those solar ions, getting that solar wind, getting that solar energy, okay? So you want to make your time in nature, around water, place times where you could be in solitude. You got to make time for that within this next 28-day cycle. And you have to commit to things that you want to change and take inventory in, all right? So it says, so this is the ibis, okay? So it says, was the solitaire of reunion an ibis? That's not the part. I want to show you. So it says, in the straw-necked ibis, the neck, underpart, and tail are white, while the back and wings are glossy black. The tail feathers resemble those of an ostrich. Now, in the sacred ibis, during the reproductive period, the ornamental feathers situated on the back and the wing tips, filiform data, and longer than the tail, look more or less similar to the tail feathers of an ostrich, okay? So they're basically saying that this particular, that the ibis tail feathers represent those of an ostrich, okay? And I wanted to show you, it says that, oh, what does it say? It says the lunar astronomical cycle, which revolved around the rising of the Sothis star, was used for religious purposes, okay? So the Sothis star is Sirius B, with the July 4th celebration was really about Sirius aligning with the sun, and these dog days of the summer, right, corresponding to that extra energy or that extra push, just like a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, where you have extra energy because of the alignment of the sun with the moon, right, or the moon with the sun, right, depending on what type of lunar or solar eclipse it is. But now you have Sirius B and the sun, okay? So the Sothis star is Sirius, okay? Sopdet is the ancient Egyptian name for the star Sirius, and its personification as an Egyptian goddess known to the Greeks as Sothis, all right? So July 4th was only 5 days ago, okay? So this energy is still at play. Now, we did the face better, okay? So the Phoenix Suns, as we said, okay, the Bennu bird is the Phoenix, all right? So again, more proof, all right? Also, okay, these mummies keep finding new mummies. They keep opening new coffins. So what do you think happens when they open these new coffins, right? And or opening these sarcophaguses and find these mummies? You don't think dust and stuff is coming off these mummies? They've been encased meticulously for thousands of years. That dust from these mummies being opened up and for these new chambers being found, right? We're inhaling these things. These things are going into the environment. Again, we are dealing with not the seen world, right? If you're in this magic thing for real, if you're dealing with esoteric spiritual science, you're not dealing with the seen world. The seen world is minor to you. Your main goal is to motivate the unseen, whether you're working with angels, deities, orishas, gods, whatever, ancestors. Your main goal is to direct unseen forces to manipulate the seen world, to manipulate the third dimensional world, right? This world is an illusion. This world is the matrix, right? So your whole goal is to Neo the matrix, or to be Neo in the matrix, right? And look at this. It's in what I showed you earlier. It says that the Bennu bird screamed on the waters of chaos or the waters of noon. And it says, look, archaeologists find mummies with golden tongues. All right, this is February 3rd. January, 4,000-year-old temple and mummies discovered, okay? So there's an awakening happening with all of us. All of us are coming online. Some of y'all are coming online with your psychic powers, your clairvoyance powers. Some of you are coming online with the power of touch, being able to feel energy. Some of you are getting a clairaudience where you're hearing different things and different thoughts are happening. Your dreams are becoming clearer, right? Your powers are trying to come online. And all the universe and the ancestors are like, yo, the energy is here to bring them online. Are you going to do the work? All right. Again, April 22nd, new discoveries are rewriting ancient Egypt. April 9th, lost golden city found in Egypt. Okay. Again, I'm just showing you what's actually happened. Rare tombs. Okay. That's the April 29th thing again. But, you know, this is January 20th. Okay. 50 coffins found. So this is what's been happening all year. Why you think they got Little Nas X? Why you think they got Little Nas X using Egyptian symbolism, Hermetic symbolism for his BET Awards? They're trying to make him the new Michael Jackson too, but that's another story. I think I'm gonna go into that decode tomorrow, where I'm gonna decode that whole motherfucking BET Award video. So look out for that. Peace to Trinity, okay? So that's what's happening, all right? That's what's happening. So this particular thing that I have here, this right behind me, Kepara, okay? This is the flying beetle, okay? It's the flying beetle known as the clawfly, is a crab-like insectoid, okay? So Cancer is the crab, right? Cancer is a crab. But they're saying that this particular flying beetle, right, or the flying beetle is a crab-like insectoid. So this is Kepra or Kepri. And as you see, he is holding a solar disk. Okay. So the sun, again, more sun iconography, right? More relating to energy, emotions. Emotions are energy. Energy, motions, all. Energy motivates, energy moves, energy, motions, all. It's your energy that's creating whatever you are manifesting. It's your energy that's creating the life that you have now. It's your energy that's creating the relationship that you have now. It's your energy that's creating what's in your environment right now. No one did this but you. You have to become accountable. There's no hexes, no curses, no devil, no demon. Okay? It's all you. And you have to figure out and utilize these tools on how you're going to either fix the situation, remedy the situation, alleviate the situation, or solve the situation altogether. But the time is here and the time is now. So it says, so I just want to show you how basically this Cancerian energy is directly related to this particular deity here. Now, Kepra is, it says, becoming, let me pull this up. It is a theophany of the solar god, the scarab beetle, okay? Is large, golden, and winged. It rolls balls of dung, balls of shit, right? So sometimes for long distances in order to have a place to which it lays its eggs. So the scarab, what it does is basically follows the trail of the sun. The young beetles, and it follows the trails of the sun, and it basically lays its eggs as it goes along the sun from sunrise to sunset. And it basically follows that, so it follows the sun from east to west. And it's basically, and what it does is it gathers up balls of poop and plants seeds in there, okay? So it says the young beetles then spring forth from that ball of dung, seemingly as if created from nothing. In this process, the ancients saw a metaphor for the daily progress of the sun rolling as a ball across the sky every day, and for the mystery of creation and birth. Kepra as a full scarab or scarab-headed man is shown either with the disk of the physical sun or rolling it, as it were, from the eastern mountains in the morning and back into Thames' watchful embrace in the evening. Kepra associated with the, Kepra is associated with the life-giving powers of sunlight and with the act of sunrise itself. Get your ass out of the house, okay? Get around some nature, okay? Go out in the pool, go get out, you know what I'm saying? Get this energy. Stop being afraid to get black and get dark and stupid shit like that. Get it, because it's here, all right? It'll help you solve your problems. It's here. Forming a special triad with Ra, which is representative of the noontime sun, and Tem, setting the sun, okay? So basically, this is saying that as you plant your seeds, right, during the day, they pop up. But we'll go into that a little further. 1 second. Let's pull this up. Okay, Cancer. Okay, the crab and the scarab. So this is the scarab. And as I told you, okay, we're in Cancer season. And as I told you, and this is what, okay, it would look like. Kepra is what it's called, or Kepper, either or. And again, the flying beetle, known as the clawfly, all right? Crabs have claws. It's a crab-like insectoid, okay? So it says, so this is very small, but I'm going to read some of it. It says, we are familiar with the sign of Cancer being associated with a crab through the Greek and Roman traditions. So they associated Cancer with the crab. This comes from the Greek and the Romans, not really your ancestors, okay? But you see the crab is similar to the beetle, okay? You see, this is where it comes from. It comes from this particular hieroglyph or this particular zoomorphic image, all right? And it says, all right, so indeed the Latin word Cancer means crab, okay? So Cancer, this Latin word that means crab, and this well-known crustacean expresses the Cancerian temperament very well. It lives on the cusp of the earth and sea, scuttles sideways, cautious in its movements, and has a protective shell covering the soft, vulnerable flesh within. In order to grow, the crab must periodically shed this shell and grow another. So this crab is saying the crab shell sheds its shell and grow another. So we're in Cancer season, okay? We're in Cancer season until the 21st of this month. All right? We have 28 days of this new moon energy to work with. There's these dog days of summer, last for 40 days to be exact. 40 days and 40 nights, starting on July 3rd, up until August 11th. Now, it says, in order to grow, the crab must periodically shed its shell and grow another. The crab walks to and fro with the ebb of the flow and the tide. So that's where the water element comes in, all right? And pulled by the ever waxing and waning moon, just as the typical moon-ruled Cancerian will tend to be pulled more by their lunar moon, pulled more than most by their, The crab rocks to and fro with the ebb and flow of the tide, which is itself pulled by the ever waxing and waning moon, just as the typical moon-ruled Cancerian will tend to be pulled more than most by their lunar moods and cycles. So like I said, if you're a Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you're in your feelings right now. So be careful who you're talking to, all right? Be careful what people say. And if you're talking to us, be careful what you say, because we might just go off, and especially those of us that don't know this and aren't enlightened, all right? So it says, for the Egyptians, the Cancer was represented not by a crab, okay? Again, that's Latin and Greek, where we got this Cancer sign, okay? Egyptians, Cancer was represented not by a crab, but by a scarab or dung beetle, okay? Kepper. Sacred to the Egyptians as a creature of immortality. The beetle is clearly linked to the moon's 28-day cycle, okay? It deposits, so it says the beetle is clearly linked to the moon's 28-day cycle. And here's a picture of the beetle with a ball of dung, okay? Rolling it with his hind legs up the hill, okay? Which is what it usually does. The beetle is clearly linked to this moon's 28-day cycle. It deposits its balls of eggs rolled in dung in the earth for the space of 28 days, which is the time for the moon to complete a full revolution through the 12 zodiac signs, okay? So during the 28th day of the moon cycle, it's going from Aries to Pisces, okay? And then back again. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. That's the first sign of the new year. So it's going from Aries to Pisces and back again. So the Egyptians considered the 29th day to be a day of resurrection, according to lunar markings, okay? There occurs the baptism of the beetle when the scarabaeus cast his ball into the water, opening to give birth to the young beetle. So basically, what this particular article is saying is that the scarab basically rolls his dung for the 28 days, planting seeds in there, and then after the 28 days, that's when it gives birth to something new, or gives birth to a new manifestation. This represents us using cosmology, using astrology, using the moon cycles, so that we could tap into a particular energy matrix, just like Cancer, right? And use this particular energy throughout each day, planting seeds. Again, the devil doesn't take a day off, right? The news don't take a day off. The news got negativity for you every day if you want it. So you gotta be a spiritual warrior out here. That's the only way. Now it's saying basically that, so it says, according to lunar markings, on the 29th day is a day of resurrection, or a day of manifestation, or a day of the new you, or a day of new growth, or a day where you will see who you really are, what you're really manifesting, what type of work you put in that month. After the moon cycle, you should have already seen things. You should have seen indications of the things that you wanted to manifest, in particular, the character that you wanted to change, the childhood trauma that you're trying to heal, the anxiety, the depression, the things that you're trying to get over. You should see some type of progress, and usually it comes in the form of deja vu, what people call coincidence, right? There's no such thing as coincidences. Coincidences are confirmations of the work that you've been putting in, If you see a deja vu, if you see a coincidence, be thankful. Okay, that coincidence is telling you you're on the right track. And the more you're on the right track, the more coincidences you will see. Now, and if you are here, please hit that like button. I appreciate it if this is something that is making sense. But I just want to show you the roots of these things because I've never heard anybody talk about this, for real. I've never talked about anybody talk about the cancer being related to the scarab and how basically they hijack the astrology to fit their narrative, right? That's crazy. How you going to take a scarab or a beetle and make it a crab for your own? Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. But you got to be on point, okay? Now, it says this immersion and baptism became naturally associated with renewal and regeneration. In this way, the lunar god was always declared to be self-created, never born. This symbolism seems to fit aptly for the sign of Cancer, so seemingly introverted, and self-contained. All right. So look at this. What date did this come out? It says the Crab Nebula is almost impossibly powerful. Okay. This came out yesterday, June 8th. Why all of a sudden are they talking about the Crab Nebula? Again, more hints, more of the universe showing up, more of the universe trying to tell you what's up. Okay. Now, this is not confirmed, right? This is just through my downloads and meditation, right? But there's millions, if not hundreds of nebulas out there. And the nebula is basically, well, let's go into it. Let's read the article. Scientists say one of the most iconic objects in the cosmos is even brighter and more energetic than previously thought, resetting the standard for how astronomers measure sources of ultra high energy gamma rays like pulsars and neutron stars. Okay, so ultra high energy gamma rays is the key here, and I'll go into that. But it's saying that this object is even brighter, more solar, okay, energetic than previous thought. What's your soul? Your soul is the emotions, okay? If you want to understand where your emotions lie, okay, look at your solar plexus, because that's the mental energy that's basically powering your sacral energy, which is your emotions, okay? And the affirmations that you set for your root chakra, all right? So, scientists say one of the most iconic objects in the cosmos is even brighter and more energetic than previously thought, resetting the standard for how astronomers measure sources of high energy gamma rays like pulsars and neutron stars. The Crab Nebula was formed from the supernova explosion of a massive star in AD 1054, creating one of the most spectacular ongoing cosmic firework displays. All right, then we just have July 4th, this July the 9th. The most spectacular ongoing cosmic firework displays. So I'm showing you how this related to Sirius also, okay, and how they're talking about cosmic fireworks. Now they're talking about a Crab Nebula, all right. The brilliant light show has been driven for the past millennium by a pulsing neutron star left over from the explosion known as the Crab Pulsar, which is one of the brightest known sources of high-powered X-rays and gamma rays, all right. Now, my theory is this, and this is a little scientific, so I hope I don't lose people. But there, like I said, there's hundreds, if not millions, of these nebulas. My idea is that we are all, those of us that are here in this avatar body, come from a nebula. We all are created in the nebula because, as the song says, every nigga is a star. We're made of stardust. So if we're made of stardust, where does this stardust lie, right? Where is it from, okay? So could all the people that are Cancers under the constellation Cancer be sprouting from this particular Crab Nebula, okay? Interesting theory, right? Just something that comes to me in my research, right? For those of you who are nerdy like me, may be interested. So, but again, more crab. So more things they're talking about the crab. So again, I highlighted, okay, X-rays and gamma rays, because I want to show you how this relates to your melanin as well, okay? So let's go into this next article. Gamma radiation, okay? You see what your boy typed in, gamma rays and melanin, okay? melanin, this is that black gold that is within you, all right? And I showed you how AU is the element gold on the periodic table of elements, but they just flipped it to be EU. Okay, so it's melanin. That's that black gold, that dark gold, that melanated gold, all right, within you. That quick twitch function, that stuff that they can't put under. They cannot put melanin. They could put melanin. They could put neuromelanin under a microscope, but they cannot put melanin under a microscope and track it. They've been trying for decades. They can't figure it out. They can't figure it out because every time they put it down, it keeps shaking. It keeps shifting. They try to put it on the microscope and isolate it. It keeps moving around. All right. That's the melanin. That's the chaos energy that's within you. That's that chaos of the waters of noon. Waters have different flows. Sometimes they're tidling. Sometimes they're raging. Sometimes they're calm, just like your emotions, which represents the water within you. The earth is 75% water. You're 75% water. As above, so below. All right. So it says, so gamma rays and melanin. Again, just to show you, it says the crab pulsar, which is one of the brightest known sources of high-powered X-rays and gamma rays. Get in your meditations. Learn to meditate. Get out in nature. Learn to meditate. Learn to meditate. Learn to sit in silence. Learn to be by yourself. Stop always having to be with somebody. Learn to be by yourself. Learn to take time for yourself. Learn to take time away from them kids. Okay, time away from mama, time away from family, and figure out some time where you can isolate yourself and sit out somewhere and get your head clear. It's something that you're going to have to do. You may not be able to do it every day with work and things like that, but you got to make time for it. And every day, you really got to make time for some type of spiritual work, whether it's meditation, whether it's affirmation, whether it's, again, reharnessing this emotional energy, practicing quote unquote the law of attraction. I gave you a formula on how that relates to the planets earlier. Okay. Watching YouTube videos, not just me, people that are in this sphere, things that are going to keep you inspired, in spirit. Okay. Things that are going to keep you enlightened, in light. Very important during this time. This is not the time to worry about what's happening in Israel and what's happening to the Pakistanis. It's not the time to worry about what's happening to Bill Cosby. It's not the time to worry about what's happening out in the world. Okay, this next 40 days is like fuck the world season. It's fuck the world season. Not to say you can't have empathy, you know what I'm saying? But how much emotional energy are you putting into these things outside of yourself? That's what you have to ask yourself. Okay. So again, Crab Nebula, brightest known sources of high-powered X-rays and gamma rays. Gamma rays and melanin. Gamma radiation interacts with melanin to alter its oxidation reduction potential and results in electric current production. Again, remember I told you your melanin is like Black Panther suit. It absorbs energy, and you could use that energy. The presence of melanin pigments. Emotions are energy, emotion. Okay. The presence of melanin pigments in organisms is implicated in radio protection and in some case enhanced growth in the presence of high levels of ionizing radiation. So these high levels of ionizing radiation they're talking about are these gamma radiation. If you look at different frequencies, right? I didn't really break this down, but there's so gamma is the highest, right? Gamma, and I said this in another video, gamma, Bruce Banner got hit with gamma waves and turned into the Hulk. But Bruce Banner, right, is a scientific genius, and the Hulk is a raging madman, right? So there's a raging monster, basically. So there's a balance within the psyche, and the Hulk is really a representation of Osir or Osiris, the green Cometian deity, and I showed y'all that in another video. So this particular, it's very interesting that this Crab Nebula they're talking about, right, and how it's pulsing, and it's impossibly powerful, okay? And they talk about the gamma waves, which I showed you. High-powered X-rays and gamma rays, okay? And enhanced growth in the presence of, okay, results in electric current production. So for your magic, don't you need to have a certain emotional right? You need to have a certain emotional connection to your magic. You need to be able to put energy into it. That's why music is so important when you're doing your ritual. That's why writing things down and burning them is so important when you're doing rituals. That's why having altars. That's why lighting candles, right? All these things put you in an emotional state. Lighting incense, taking spirit baths. All these things change your emotion, change your frequency, change your vibration, and give you different electric current production. Electricity, emotions, energy, motions, all. Energy moves all. So you need energy if you want to manifest all these great things. Remember the superpowers that you, like I said this before, remember the superpowers that you wished for in December 21st, during the winter solstice, now in the summer solstice. So these things, again, are coming online. Your superpowers are coming online, believe it or not. You just got to do the work to acquire them. And you got to seek the wisdom to acquire them, not the things, but the wisdom. And the wisdom will get you the things. Okay? I showed you how they said the betel bird had ostrich feathers, right? Or the ibis. Well, anyway, I'm going too far. Let me keep with this. So I just want to show you that, to show you what's going on. All right? Again, the Crab Nebula. Now, Elsa is the hurricane that smashed. Okay, Elsa's the hurricane that smashed into New York, and they said it's still about to come and may hit mainland soon. From what last I heard, I don't really watch the news like that, but from what my phone said. And Elsa is, so let's look at what Elsa means. Okay, Elsa, what does Elsa mean? Elsa is a girl's name pronounced Elsa. Shout out to Hood Mystic. Okay, I know his name on Facebook is L Melchizedek. So L means God. Okay, and the L, right? I told you the letter L, or the L right here, right? L means God. That's what it means. L means God. And the EL comes from the cheer of or set, right? Because when the Hebrews took the word L, because that's where EL comes from, it's a Hebrew word for God. And this comes from or sets. Let me see if I can pull it up. It ain't gonna pull it up like this, but watch me do this. Watch when I put ISIS. It's probably gonna come up. These fuckers. Oh no, that's not the ISIS we want. All right, so this is ISIS. So you see the chair on her head looking like an L? Y'all see that? Y'all see the chair on her head looking like an L? That's where you get the L from, the EL. A lot of these things, and I'm not bringing up all these. Spirit is leading me to talk about this stuff. If you notice, I've been talking about a lot of the Commission stuff way more lately. The Spirit is leading me for whatever reason to talk about this with y'all. And maybe because these icons are online right now. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by them being online is you could use these icons because of all these coffin openings and all these new discoveries. These have a lot of power in your ritual work. These have a lot of power right now. Heavily charged. Little Nas X just charge it up with his BET Awards, right? He had the whole Eye of Horus right in pyramids right there. Did a whole magical spell. And I'm gonna break that down tomorrow too. But he did a whole magical spell, right? So he's tapped in, right? The quote unquote secret societies, they tapped in. The quote unquote Illuminati that y'all are so scared of is tapped in. The question is, are you? Okay? That's the question. And only you can answer that. So, L, okay? Elsa means pledge to God, okay? And of course, Frozen, the main character's name was Elsa as well. But it means, no, that's else. Hold on, sorry. Okay, so meaning consecrated to God, noble, okay? God's promise, God in my oath, joyful, okay? So why would this particular storm, right, that damn near flooded New York when we're in Cancer season under a water sign happened to be named Elsa, which means consecrated to God, or God's promise, God is my oath. Because what it is trying to tell you niggas, what the universe is trying to tell you niggas is get on your job, okay? Get into this meditation. Go within. Get into the spiritual work. Get into the God within you. What is the God within you? What is your purpose? Why are you here? What's the reason? Is it just to take selfies? Is it just to take selfies? Like, what's the reason? Why are you here? What's your purpose? Is it just to hang out? Is it just to take vacation trips, right? Is it just to go to work and make a whole bunch of money and die? What is your purpose? Why were you here? Why is the sperm, your sperm, beat all the other sperm to make it? All right. And again, you can find this stuff out by looking at your astrological chart. You could get a reading from someone, myself. And again, but if you want to save money, shit, you could do this yourself by taking the time out and researching and learning and studying you. But more importantly, sitting down with yourself in some silence, sitting down with yourself with some binaural beats, right? These gamma waves are high right now. If you're listening to, I showed you how gamma waves are coming from this Crab Nebula and how they're talking about how powerful it is and how it has these gamma waves, okay? So the energy is here. So you could listen to, on YouTube, right? You could listen to, look at this. It ain't taking no time. So there's pure gamma waves, 3-hour gamma waves, 43 hertz gamma waves. So let's say you're working on a project. What should you be listening to? Okay, what should be in the background? If you got a frequency generator on your phone, I've talked about this in the past. You could download a frequency generator for your phone, okay? You could have this in the background playing all day. What you think your boy got? Okay, there's gamma waves playing on this motherfucker right now. You can't hear them because it's not about it being heard. It's about the frequency, all right? But you could play the stuff in the background while you're at work. You could play the stuff in the background while you're dealing with the kids, just so you could tap into this frequency, so you could get your downloads. This is download time. This is upload time, okay? The universe is telling you. The signs and symbols are telling you, okay? Everything is telling you. I'm telling you, and I'm showing and proving, okay? So we want to tap into this particular energy. All right, so let's go into what else I got here. So now that we did that, this is really, ladies and gentlemen, about you tapping into, oh, I didn't even know I had this open. But this is really about you tapping into your intuition. Your intuition is your true wisdom. Your gut feeling is your true wisdom. Your gut feeling is true knowledge. You may have a gut feeling about something, right? You may have someone, you know what I'm saying? You may have, let's say you're thinking about, I don't know. Let's say you're thinking about Frank Sinatra, right? Just using Frank Sinatra as hypothetical. You're thinking about Frank Sinatra, right? But you may have seen, and we've all had these images where you've seen Frank Sinatra in your head, but you cannot remember the name for whatever reason. You're like, I know this guy sings classical music. I know, you know what I'm saying? It's smooth classical music, but you just can't remember the name because the word comes after the thought. The word comes after the thought. The idea is always first. The intuition is always first, right? It's always going to come first, your intuition, your gut feeling. This is why you have butterflies when you're around people that you like or you love, right? You might have butterflies and things like that. If you're nervous, right, you might have butterflies as well. You know what I'm saying? Scared to go on stage or scared of something, right? You feel it in your gut. Your gut is directly linked again to your sacral chakra, where your emotions, energy, motions, or where that energy lies. So one of the things that we could do is we could tap into these universal laws as a foundation these next this particular moon cycle. And one of the things we want to get into, if you haven't or you don't know about this, is the Kabbalion. You could get the book, or you could do like Rob just is doing right now and go online and pull this resource page up and do some reading, okay? But this is something that you want to memorize. You want to know what these 7 laws are. They call these the 7 Hermetic laws, but they're really the 7 Kemetic laws. The Kabbalion, according to the Gnosis or the Gnostic stories, it was given to Thought, the Atlantean, right? I call Thought, and those of us that, are well read, we understand that Thought is Tahuti. So Thought is Tahuti, or Thoth, right? Thought, the ibis-headed bird, right? Is Tahuti. And the 7 Hermetic principles are really the 7 Kemetic principles, okay? So keep that in mind. It's really the 7 Kemetic principles. So it says the principles of truth, the 7. He who knows these, understandingly, possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. If you want to do some extra credit, watch that little Nas X before tomorrow. Watch that little Nas X video, his BET Awards performance, and see how many steps he climbs. You see how many steps he climbs, all right, in that video to get to the top when he does that grandiose kiss. So the principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. So the 7 Hermetic principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based. The principle of mentalism. Okay, it's right here. The all is mind, the universe is mental. The principle of correspondence, all right? Everything has a correspondence. As above, so below. That's the principle of correspondence. The principle of vibration. Everything vibrates. Nothing stays still. The principle of polarity. Everything has an equal and opposite pole. If there's sunshine, there's got to be rain. If there's joy, there's got to be pain. Rob Bass told you that, right? The principle of rhythm. Okay, everything has rhythm. There's a rhythm. Everything has rhythm. Okay, going ups and downs. We all have rhythms in our life. We're feeling really good. We're feeling really bad. Ups and downs. The principle of cause and effect. All right, this is what your karma is. The karma is not if you do something bad happens, and the morality, because bad and good, it's subjective. Bad, right? If somebody steals a candy bar from a store here in America, you may not, depending on it, you may just get a slap on the wrist and they tell you not to go to the store again, or you may go to jail for a day or two and they let you out, right? Shoplifting is not that big deal. But if you steal that same candy bar in Saudi Arabia or a Muslim held state, right? They may chop your arm off. They may chop your wrist off. They may chop a finger off, right? To us, that's bad here in America. To them, that's good. And that's just one example. There's certain countries where you could get married as young as 14. You can marry a girl as young as 14 legally in a lot of countries, right? To us, that's bad, right? It's pedophilia. To them, that's good. So good and bad are subjective when you're talking about things like that. At the end of the day, it's about energy in motion. It's about the energy that's in motion, okay? So the principle of cause and effect is simply, if you plant a seed in fertile soil, that seed is going to grow. Cause, effect, okay? If you plant a seed out here on the concrete, it's not going to grow because it's not fertile soil. Cause, effect. That's it. Has to do with the energy and the intention of what you're doing. Magic, lighting candles, doing rituals, invoking deities, channeling, all those things. Cause, you do something, and the effect is you're channeling, you're manifesting a house, a relationship, new character, things like that, right? Cause and effect. So karma is that's a Hindu philosophy, and it's not, and this is taken from this, but it's totally misinterpreted to give you some. And when people put you in those morals, again, they're trying to keep you in a Masonic checkerboard. I call it a Masonic checkerboard, but it's really Masonic chessboard. But they're trying to keep you in between a black and white box, keep you in between poles of positive and negative, according to what they tell you is positive and negative, according to what society tells you is positive and negative, right? So the principle of gender, okay, we all know that there's male and female, right? although they're trying to do this whole non-binary thing, but this is not. We know that there's a big difference between a man. There's a big difference between a man and a woman. I don't care what you're trans, right? There is a difference. You still got man strength, man hands, no matter how much you trans, and vice versa, right? You still got that women softness, that women bone structure, et cetera, right? So there is a principle of gender. So learning these things, right? This is the foundation that if you don't already know these things, you should have this on cap. And it's really only 7 things. But this should be the foundation of how you look at life. And once you look at life from this way, you realize that everything is balanced. Everything has an opposite. There really is no good and bad. When I say good and bad, I mean there's shit that's low vibration and there's shit that's high vibrational. There's things that help the planet move forward. There's things that help the planet grow and help others grow. And there's things that bring the planet backwards, that regress the planet, that regress growth, that regress ascension, that regress moving forward, right? Evil is live backwards. So things that are allowed to live are quote unquote according to things that are living or things that are growing, right? Things that are living are things that are growing. Things that live spelled backwards is evil. Those are things that are not living and things that are not growing. That's it. That's how you determine it. So it's the energy and the attention behind it. Okay. So that's one thing. Another thing that we want to do is we want to take inventory of, oh, I opened this twice. We want to take inventory of, and look, this is 2018, Osiris, okay? Osiris is Osir. Osiris Rex spacecraft arrives at asteroid Bennu. So they've been looking at this asteroid for a minute. And the ironic thing is that they called it Bennu, which is the Phoenix, all right? What else did I want to talk about? So in this particular Cancerian energy, and let me see, do I have anything else for you? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me stop sharing. So again, those are just some things I want to show you how, to show and prove, to show you how the universe, if you know symbolism, if you understand symbolism, especially Hermetic symbolism, you can understand anything. Like my first study is really studying besides the Nation of Gods and Earths is and that's symbolism. That's really Freemasonry remixed, right? The lessons, the 120 lessons are really Freemasonry remixed for black people in the streets, particularly. Yes, Master Farad was a Freemason, 33 and a third. And you can research that for yourself. But it's really Freemasonry. And, oh, what's up, Petite Princess? How you doing? So yeah, so this Cancer new moon, you want to take, there's Venus. Venus is in Mars. Venus and, wait, what is it? Venus, Mars. Venus and Mars are in Leo. So Leo being the lion, being the king, right? Being related to the solar plexus in particularly, right? Being related to the sun in particularly, right? We have Venus and we have Mars. Venus, the planet of love, the planet of emotions, right? The planet of joy, the planet of abundance, with Mars, the planet of action, the planet of movement, right? And things like that. So this is really about time to, look at the Spirit's trying to tell. So look at your home. Like, what type of energy are you putting into your home? A lot of people put most of their emotions in, and a lot of women do this. They put a lot of emotions strictly into their children. While there's nothing wrong with that, you have to be balanced. A lot of guys put a lot of emotion into chasing women and chasing money. While that's good on one hand, you got to be balanced, right? So look at where you live, where you're currently at, what your current situation is. And it doesn't matter if you're homeless or if you're going through a hard time and things like that. Don't beat yourself up. A lot of great people, a lot of millionaires, multimillionaires were once where you were homeless, were, sleeping on somebody's couch, was in a bad position. Don't beat yourself up over that. There's no reason. People go through this. The main thing is now you want to look at how you're going to get out of the situation, what type of plan. And you want to ask and petition your ancestors to figure out how you're going to get out of this particular situation. And the more you ponder it, the more you plant the seeds, the more you put effort and energy by going online to look and see what solution you could find, like going outside, maybe to a park or in nature about some water and really pondering these things. The more you're out in the sun, taking your walks and things like that, the more you will get the answers for what you need. The more you will get insight. People will start to come. You may get an offer for this. You may get an offer for that. You may get an offer for more money. You may win some money on a scratch off, or a lotto or something like that at the casino, et cetera, et cetera. But you got to be tuned in, and you got to be tapped in, and you got to have some sort of meditation practice on a religious basis. Or you got to have some sort of practice where you are literally like I said, listening to these frequencies, these gamma waves and things like that, so you can get information. It's about the energy and the energy that you have, the energy that you possess. Also, what type of diet do you have? What are you eating? What are you ingesting? What are you taking in? What you want to have a light body at this time. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to eat too much meat. You don't want to eat something too heavy. I should have fasted today. Because as soon as I ate, before I got on here, it's like I shouldn't have ate. And I could feel it. I shouldn't have ate. But you live and you learn, right? I should have fasted today. But probably tomorrow. But yeah, it's about your home. What type of energy are you putting into things? And are you putting enough energy into yourself? Is all your energy going into outside things? Are you putting energy into your happiness? When's the last time you took yourself out on a date? When's the last time you went to do something you wanted to do? When's the last time you took a trip that you wanted to take? When's the last time you went out without anybody, without a friend, without a family member, without a homeboy, went shopping by yourself? You know what I'm saying? Things like just simple things where you have time to think. Turn the radio off when you're driving sometimes and just think and allow the messages to come to you and program on a repetitious daily basis. Program yourself. Very, very important. Your love life, all right? This is Cancer season, emotional, okay? How's your relationship with your loved one? How's your relationships with your children? How's your relationship with, family and things like that? Your co-workers, your associates, examine that. Look at that. See what that is, how it's affecting you. Is it affecting you for the good? Is it affecting you for the bad? Are there people that you need to cut off, or are there people that you need to put on? How are these things affecting you? Very, very important to look at right now. Home, career, where I talked about career on my retrograde video. So you can go back and check that out. It's another long video, I know, but I do talk about it. But I'll go into it a little bit. It's basically what you're here to do, right? People that have purpose, right, are usually the people that are rich, or the rich ones, right? People that are going towards their dreams, going towards their goals. Those are the people that are rich and happy. People that just do things for money, yeah, they may be rich, but they're not happy because they're not doing things that they love. They're doing things strictly for money. You want to be able to do something for money, yes. If you have a job, again, no shame on being an employee. Shit, I'm an employee myself, so there's no shame in that, But I also do this. I also do spirit work. You know what I'm saying? I also work with other people. So you want to have some other vehicle, where you're able to create something that you love, where you're able to put what you love and what you're passionate about out there and receive some currency, because currency is in motion. Currency is energy in motion, right? People spend emotionally. When there's tragedy, usually the numbers go up. After a police shooting, if you really study the stock market, you see the numbers start going up that weekend. No lie, go back and look at it. The stocks start rising after every police shooting around that weekend and that Monday. Because now you've done took into George Floyd 8 minutes. So now you need to buy something to make yourself feel better, because that's what the commercials after the news story, or the commercial after the video that you watched on YouTube or the commercial after the video you watched on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter is going to tell you right after that to go buy something. They're going to give you a commercial. And your subconscious doesn't realize it because you were emotionally triggered that thought was allowed to penetrate your subconscious beyond your veil, beyond your conscious mind. That's how powerful emotions are. And what else? And more, like I said earlier, neglect becoming emotionally involved in the matrix. Okay. Again, there's a lot of things happening. I don't know if you guys heard about the Haitian president that got killed, right? Recently, he's one of the presidents that didn't want to give anybody the jab. And all of a sudden, he got killed. The Tanzanian president, same thing. He didn't want to give people the jab. He got killed. There's another king in, I believe, the king is in Swaziland, the Swaziland king. And he's on the run for the same reason, because they was about to get him because he doesn't, again, want to give people the jab. So there's things happening out here in this matrix. They're trying their best to hold on to the matrix. They know the matrix is falling. They know this is the age of Aquarius. They know people are having new revelations. They know people are downloading their spiritual powers. They know people are seeing miracles manifest. They know people are changing and growing and doing the shadow work. They know people are learning and listening. So they have to keep you emotionally attached to the matrix. That's why July 4th is such a powerful ritual, which you wear in red, white, and blue, because it keeps you tied emotionally to the matrix. If you watch the news every day, congratulations. You're emotionally attached to the matrix. They got you. Don't tell me that you're watching the news every day and it doesn't affect you, because there's millions and billions of scientific studies that I could pull up right now that shows you how the news has a negative effect on you. They'll tell you straight up that they put these stories out to give you fear and give you anxiety purposely. Okay. What I saw one video, I think I posted on Instagram, where they said, if it bleeds, it leads. Okay. So they looking for the person in your neighborhood that got shot to show you that first things first, to keep you in fear. They can keep you in fear. They can keep, it's the whole Hegelian dialect, right? Problem, they're getting shot. Reaction, oh shit, help me, save me, Mr. White Man. Solution, we got you. Let's put Black Lives Matter on your street. Give you a statue of George Floyd, right? Let's give you Black Lives Matter t-shirts, right? But we ain't gonna give you no real justice. We ain't gonna give you no reparations. We ain't gonna change no laws for real for you niggas, right? So again, watch what you're emotionally tied to. Watch what you're emotionally invested in. Don't be, for especially these dog days, don't be involved in the matrix. Whatever happens, let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let it happen. They already rocked y'all to sleep with the Bill Cosby. They still trying to rock y'all to sleep with this Delta variant. So you got to be careful. You got to be on point and know what you're listening to and know who you're listening to. What else did I want to talk to y'all about? So this is the time, again, we're in, I talked about this during my retrograde video, but this is a time of Tahuti. Tahuti is the deity of wisdom, which you call Thoth or Thought, the Atlantean, right? What the Greeks call thought. Wisdom and intuition is not necessarily an emotional thing. For instance, you could have intuition about, for instance, I remember my mother, right? She sat on my bed. This was before I got arrested, when I was younger. And that day she sat on my bed and she talked to me for about an hour. She woke me up early and talked to me about an hour before I even went out. And this is when I was younger. So this is before I went to school. And she knew something was going to happen. I didn't know. She just knew, you know what I'm saying? And she talked to me very calmly, hand on my thigh, right? I remember it like yesterday. And she was just trying to tell me, come back home. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to happen. Just come back home. You know what I'm saying? Don't hang out with your friends today. Come back home. Did my dumb ass listen to her intuition? No. And I got jammed up, right? So therefore, intuition doesn't necessarily have an emotional pull. Emotions are really used to propel you to the, emotions are used to the, energy and motion is used to propel you to the point that the neurons, because you've generated that energy and emotion so much, I am abundant, good things happen to me. I attract people that help me in all walks of life. I am greatness. I am bold. I am fearless. I am king, right? You attack. You do this on a repetitious basis. These neurons that fire together, right? Neurons are neural connections that fire together and wire together. So the more you think about these things, those neurons are like, oh shit, he's abundant. Oh shit, he's always getting money. Oh shit, good people always come around him. Oh shit, great things happen to him. That neuron is firing and wiring together. He wants this house. He wants this car. He wants the wisdom to manifest it. Oh, he wants to have great relationships. You're doing it over and over. You're generating that energy. That neuron starts to fire to wire together, right? So guess what? Now you have a new neural, what they call a neural pathway. And this neural pathway now allows your intuition to have a new source of energy. So the intuition is like, shit, okay. The intuition is your intuition. You pay a tuition to go to college. So it's your inner knowledge, right? You already have this in you. You just need to awaken your intuition. That's really it. It's already in your DNA. So you just need to awaken it. So part of the process of awakening that is, again, continuing to put certain emotions, continuing to do rituals, continuing to meditate, et cetera, on a repetitious basis. And the more you do that, the more you are tuning your intuition. And then your aura, your electromagnetic aura will take care of itself. You'll start to get, again, the coincidences. The downloads will continue to come. The wisdom will come. It's the inner knowing. It's knowing thyself, but it's the inner knowing where your ancestors, where you really on a one-on-one basis with your ancestors, and your ancestors start to tell you things. And you're like, where the fuck am I getting this idea, this thought? Or this wisdom, or this, nah, let me not do this today, or no, let me do this today, or nah, let me not make this turn, or oh, let me make that turn, right? Or let me put something in my mind that I want to manifest, right? And see it manifest, like parking spots and shit like that, right? You guys in other states don't have to do this, but in New York, parking is very hard to find, so that's also like a great test. If you're one of these busy states where parking is hard to find, if you're saying, okay, I'm gonna go to this place and I'm gonna get a parking spot. Continue think about it repetitiously, anchoring in your meditations, right? While you're driving, thinking about it, and see what happens. I'll tell you, 8 times out of 10, you're gonna find that parking spot. Facts. So trust your gut, right? Eat light. Clean your home. Make sure that old things that you don't need, get rid of them. Things that you're emotionally attached, don't be a hoarder, right? If it's no longer needed, if it's no longer useful, if you haven't used it in the last couple of years, right? Get rid of it. It's time to go. It's time to clean up. It's time to get things in order. It's time to tidy up. You know what I'm saying? You want to, because you don't want to have, again, a lot of external things to worry about. You don't want to have a lot of external attachments. You want your emotions to focus on the life you're going to create the next 6 months, because we're already at the halfway point of the year. So life you're creating in the next 6 months, that's what you want to be focused on. That's what you want to be putting out into the universe. Another thing, and just some jewels that you could wear for this particular work. If you're here, please hit the like button. I do appreciate it. All right. You could get rose quartz for your emotional rose quartz. Okay. I'm wearing that. Shout out to my homegirl, Nikita Bay, for making this for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. For the emotional body. Okay. You could get aquamarine. Aquamarine helps you let go of emotional attachments. So if you're attached to an ex still, you're attached to someone who's doing you dirty, you're attached to, something that, is holding you back. Wear some aquamarine, say your affirmations, charge it up emotionally, right? Like I said, snap these ideas. People won't think you crazy, right? And you get that emotional resonance from you snapping. Another thing is moonstone. You can get moonstone. Moonstone is good for new beginnings, starting new things, especially for new moons, right? Again, moonstone, I like to do is, if you have it, I don't have it right now. When I did have it, it's something that you speak into during a new moon. So you could speak to it, right? You could charge it up and definitely put it out in moonlight so that when the new moon's a full moon, so you could charge. So moonstone is great for new moons and full moons. And last but not least, you could get carnelian. Okay, and carnelian is a crystal that stimulates confidence, strength. Okay, so it helps you again put that energy in motion. Okay, get that power, but you got to go in to get out. And again, I always say this: you gotta adjust your diet. You cannot eat Popeyes 3-4 times a week, Jack in the Box 4 or 5 times a week, heavy meat, heavy chicken, processed food, and think that you're going to get to the level of enlightenment that you want to. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're not going to be at the level that you want to. You're not going to see your manifestations. You're not going to see your spiritual power, because just like your car that you drive, it has to have the right amount of oil, it has to have the right amount of gas, has to have the right amount of water. You can't just be putting diesel fuel in a motherfucking Bentley. You know what I'm saying? You're going to fuck it up. Or Benz, right? Or unleaded shit, for that matter, in a goddamn Benz. So again, you need to maintain your physical avatar so you could harness as much energy and motion, which again is what magic is made up of. Once you harness this energy and motion over time, you create this electromagnetic vehicle, or this aura, right? Some people may call them a Merkaba, right? To the two pyramids coming together, which is the Merkaba, which is also, well, I won't get into that. But you create this energy field and this energy vortex, and things start coming. Miracles start happening. You get, quote unquote, what they call lucky, right? Things just seem to fall in your lap. Things just seem to go your way when they should. That's the results of the work. That's the results of you getting wisdom. That's the results of you following the path of your first eye. So these things will help you. And remember, your emotions are currency, last but not least. Okay? Your emotions are, again, money isn't a thing, right? We see cryptocurrency rising, well, falling and rising and falling and rising. But cryptocurrency isn't anything unless we say it is, right? In prison, they use cigarettes as money. They all agree that cigarettes is money, right? It's what you agree is money, but that's an emotional connection. That's energy in motion. Energy moves all. Energy motions all. So the energy that you're putting, the energy of money is the currency of what you are resonating with already. Energy is the biggest currency. Money is called currency because currency is energy. So the current of energy is going to determine the type of money you bring in. The current of energy that you have is going to determine the type of lovers you attract. The currency of energy is going to determine the type of career you have. The currency of energy is going to determine the type of place that you live and the opportunities that you manifest, okay? Emotions are currency. And once again, you manifest and you have these emotions in check, and these emotions are going towards your godhood, okay? You are planting your seeds like Kepara, which again, this is what this Cancer season is really about. Not a crab, but the beetle, okay? This particular scarab beetle, right? And you taking these wings and following your guiding light, whatever that is, whatever you're here to do, whatever you're here to manifest, whatever your purpose is. Tapping into that purpose and going towards that purpose, okay? Go into your chart. Look, see what's in your chart. If you don't know, get an astrological chart. See what's in your chart. Get a free birth chart, okay? Get into your Neptune, your Jupiter. See what you're supposed to be doing here. Follow it. Figure out how you could do it. Figure out how you could get into it. Follow your inner light. Your inner light is like no one else's. You are the sperm that made it out of the millions that were fighting to be here. So your inner light is yours. But you got to plant the seeds like Kepara on a day-to-day basis during this moon cycles. And during these moon cycles, you got to plant the seeds in this shitty world, right? Because he plants the seeds in dung. You got to plant your seeds in these shitty world. So at the end of the 28-day cycle, right, you could see a manifestation of the new you. And during these moon cycles, if you are growing, you should see new things manifesting. I know some of y'all been following me for a minute. You've seen new things manifesting. Not to say I got it all where I want to get it, right? but I have seen progress myself. You know what I'm saying? So you should be seeing progress. This is your first time watching me or this. You know what I'm saying? You can start now. Again, this is the best. I said this last video when I was talking about the retrogrades. This is the best time to be alive in 2021. During this time, the astrology is crazy. Okay. The cosmos is crazy. There's a lot of energy. Take advantage of it. Don't let it go to waste. Okay. Be great. Be powerful. And I think I am going to shout out to the King's Corner Progress. He said he can always tell when the brother Rob start channeling. He be sweating on the forehead. Yeah, that shit does start happening. Shout out to Emma Lawson. Love Yourself Tarot. Flex. Stray Panther, of course. I want to take a couple questions. I know it's a long video, but I don't care. If you are here, please hit the like button. Thank you. So if you guys have any questions, you could drop it in the chat. If not, I'll get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Jeffrey Cockery, for the donation. I appreciate it. Any questions, anybody, about anything? Thank you, great goodness. I appreciate it. Mama Nisi, am I into Gregory codes? No, I've never even heard of that, but I'm gonna look it up because I'm a nerd like that. So, Gregory codes? No, I've never heard of that. Gregory codes. Stray Panther said, "What is a good ritual to do for the next 3 days?" Well, new moon in Cancer season. I really can't say what is a good, because the thing about Cancer is really it's really you. It's your inner emotions. So I would suggest, today's Friday, if you really want to, and this is something anybody could get from the store even now. So I mean, it's still early enough even here in New York, where you could go to the store, do an Oshun ritual, right? Ask for your emotions to be hardwired to your higher purpose, to your higher truth, to your highest good. And doing an Oshun ritual, all you need is 3 simple things. You can get more. You can look up more for Oshun, but I'm just making it simple and cheap for anybody. You know, people don't got it, things like that. And I'm trying to think of everybody. Get some oranges. Get some cinnamon. And get some honey. All right? And you could make a spiritual bath with that. Put the orange peels in the bath, you know what I'm saying? Or if you can't take a bath, take a shower, right? Boil them, the oranges, the orange peels, the cinnamon sticks, and you want to use cinnamon sticks, and put some honey in there. When you finish boiling the cinnamon and the oranges, when you go into your bath, put some drops in honey. And when you put the drops in honey, say your intentions. You know what I'm saying? Say your intentions. And Oshun is Het Heru. For those of you who are following the Hermetic philosophy, I'll be dropping. But Oshun is Het Heru. So you could do that ritual today, actually, if that's something you want to get into. You could also do some script writing. Write out, again, how you're looking at home. Again, doing your shadow work, going back into your past. Like I said, go back to your script that I talked about in my last video when I was talking about the retrograde, scripting things out, writing your life. My name is, I was born here, my mother's name, my father's name. Go back to that script, see if you've improved, see if those childhood traumas are still bothering you. And if not, go back into meditation. This is really a very meditative time, these next 3 days. This is really a very solitude, go within. If you have a partner, or you are married, or you're living with a lot of children, you got to find time to be by yourself. And that could be first thing in the morning, that could be late at night, It might even shit be times in the bathroom or after work where you just take a break, or during work where you take a break. But you need to go within yourself. That's the best ritual to do in Cancer season, because Cancer is all about, again, your inner emotions, your energy, whatever your energy is. So it's not necessarily about really you even. The Oshun / Het Heru ritual is really more about channeling your emotions towards your purpose, or towards your will, and the will being whatever your highest purpose is. But it's about changing your physiology so that you're able to harness your emotions to that. But you still got to do the work. You know what I'm saying? You still got to do the work. But this is really honestly, the best ritual I would tell people is to meditate for the next 3 days as much as you possibly can. Real talk. Outside, if you can, too. Bring the kids to the park. You know what I'm saying? Take them to the water slide. You know what I'm saying? Take them to I don't know. Whatever amusement park. Let them ride the rides and sit down for 5-10 minutes, put on some headphones, some sunglasses so people don't look at you crazy. Put on some gamma waves, I just showed you on YouTube, and go in. That's the best ritual for anybody to do right now. Mama Nisi said, Oshun also loves the cinnamon liquor Goldschlag. Okay, see, there you go. They're called Grabovy sheath codes for manifestation. Okay, I didn't know that. Nah, Ether, I love you too. Thank you. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Hey, Mama Nisi, I'm gonna check that out. All right. So I hope that answered your question. I know that wasn't one of these complex rituals that, people on the internet probably have right now, but the ritual is really looking within, to be honest with you. It's not really about looking at external things, this one. It's really about you, home, family, friends, shadow work. What are your emotions attached to? It's the age of Aquarius, the age of water bearing. Where is your water going towards? Okay? And this is not about being perfect. This is not about you quitting everything in one day, but this is about awareness. And this is about you tapping into your own inner conscious, which is in charge of your intuition. Your intuition, your conscious judges you and allows the conscious that you have when you know you ain't on point, or you ain't doing this, the shit that you beat yourself up about, right? Which you shouldn't beat yourself up about, because things happen, all right? Every day there's a new tomorrow. But we all do it. The things that you beat yourself up about, your conscience is going to tell you. You could front on the gram, right? You could front to people, men, women, children. Men lie, women lie, even numbers lie, because you can manipulate numbers. But the one thing that won't lie is that mirror at midnight when you by yourself. One thing that won't lie is that shower when you by yourself, and that bath when you by yourself. It'll tell you who you are. It'll tell you how you affected people. It'll tell you how you affected the world. And some people, because we've been through so much hardship and difficulties, we don't give a fuck how it hurts anybody, because hurt people hurt people. But that cycle can only continue so long, because that cycle is just going to loop you into more and more and more and more and more and more hardships till you get it, till you get the lesson. If you don't get the lesson, you're going to reincarnate back here, and probably in a worse position, and have to go through the same shit again. The whole goal is not to come back here, for real. The whole goal is not to reincarnate back into hell. That's the whole goal, is not to reincarnate back into hell, which is what this is, believe it or not. Even though it's pretty with animals and, beaches and shit. But don't have a house and try to sit out in some of these pretty places for quite some time. Animals will eat you alive. All right? Animals will eat you alive. The fact that we have homes and buildings and projects and different structures and things like that, right? We think that the world is sweet. The world is not sweet. Okay? If you didn't have a home, again, animals will eat you. This is hell. I hate to say, you can make heaven out of it. I'm not saying, I'm not caught up in the Masonic checkerboard. I'm not caught up in the black and white, right? I'm just telling you what this is. Your skin is burning, you know what I'm saying? your shit is burning, oxidation. Okay, there's antioxidants. Oxidation, I talked about this before. Oxidation is basically your skin burning from the heat, right? Which is why you take antioxidants to retain your skin. So your skin starts to sag and shit. And etc. You start to age based on oxidation. Oxidation is fire, basically. It's a fire you can't see. It is burning you while you're here. This is why your physical structure, this avatar body dies. Now, there's heavenly parts of it because the law of correspondence is above and below, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm. So you're going to have that balance. So there's heaven here too. Don't get me wrong. But primarily, this world is here to take you out if you're not careful. This world is just a world of challenges and difficulties. How they say how the Dead Press said, life is a series of serious choices. And that's what this world is. You know what I'm saying? And each choice you make is determined if you're going to get ate, vamped, puppeted, be a mental slave, or if you're going to be free. Mama Nisi says scrying into trees. Yes, scrying into trees is a good way to meditate. Brother Panic talked about that. I try not to just lift people's information, but yeah, Brother Panic had a good video about, you should check him out. He had a good video about scrying into trees and going out into nature. And I actually myself, well, I'm not going to tell you the exact symbolism, but trust me, if you want to etch a symbol into a tree in a familiar park or a familiar, if you got a backyard, right, or, you know, someplace that you go to, you could literally visualize a certain symbol. And every time you go there to that park, revisit that symbol. That's how powerful the energy is right now. And I've been doing this for a couple of days. I ain't going to tell y'all the symbol, but go with what symbol works with your mind. You know, utilize your downloads. Go with what symbol works with you. Get that symbol, empower it in a tree or a place that you know you're going to visit. And when you come back, visualize that symbol again. I promise you, you're going to get some wisdom. I promise you. I promise you, you'll get a download. I promise you. As Charles Barkley said, guarantee you'll get some sort of download. That's how powerful. That's how much energy is on the planet right now. And y'all using y'all energy to discuss Bill Cosby. Y'all using y'all energy to discuss Israel and Palestine. Y'all using y'all energy to discuss Lil Baby and James Harden. This is not to say you cannot entertain yourself. This is not to say you have to be a motherfucking square. All right? I ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying? I like to do cool ratchet shit too. Believe it or not. Most people won't tell you that, but I like to do cool ratchet shit. I do. But there's a time and place. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not caught in the Masonic checkerboard. If there's times I want to drink and turn up, I understand that there's a balance. There's times I want to smoke a cigarette because I'm drunk. I understand that there's a balance. But I'm also going to take some mullein. I'm also going to take some mullein for my lungs. I'm also going to work out so that I offset that. I'm also going to drink some green juices. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be balanced, and you have to trust your intuition. Your intuition might say, nah, nigga, don't go out tonight. Stay your ass home. Read, research. You know what I'm saying? Meditate. Do a ritual. Do a reading. You got to listen to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from that bitch. Yo. All right. I think I got all the, I think I got everything. Shout out. Thank you, Nisi Mosley. I do appreciate it. Look, if you're new here, like, share, subscribe. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna go into that Lil Nas X video. It's a lot of symbolism, a lot of things y'all didn't see that y'all thought y'all see. I'm not gonna talk about his sexuality at all because I really don't give a fuck. I'm really gonna show you how a ritual was done. And most people didn't see it, they just saw a kiss because that was, again, you being emotionally attached to the matrix. So you're worried about homosexuality and who's sleeping with who. That shit ain't none of your business. You're worried about how Lil Nas X is influencing the children. Well, what about why aren't you influencing your children and telling them about shit like this so that they don't get influenced by Lil Nas X? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the game, to keep you beefing and arguing and emotionally attached to the matrix. So you can't plant your seeds. You can't plant your seeds in this ball of shit here that manifest at the end of each lunar cycle. All right, y'all. Peace, power, and prosperity. I love y'all.